when me touch down, better broke down.
With Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
That's how she became mine and see the
All right.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluo?
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 What is Baluo?
Baluo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluo, better than sending money.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamsel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamsel, Yaibaram.
get it.
Mbijan aganya.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Kosa. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. I get it.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka.
Mbare.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jang.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia e bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nim kodi maro. Jannam number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi mani domorol di fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji.
Yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Hello and welcome to the brunch on Kerr, Fatou. I'm Cham, welcoming you to yet another edition of our weekly current affairs magazine. I'm Cham, like you said. Now, this week, we are expecting, of course, to have the GDC propaganda, or the GDC spokesman, that is Almamy, funding Taal to discuss the party's upcoming Congress. Almamy is yet to be in the studio. We're also expecting Al-Hassan Alex Dabo, a Gambian real estate developer and actor in the United States, who is also yet to be in the studio. But we are kicking off with Abdoulie Cham, who is the Deputy Propaganda Secretary of the Gambia Democratic Congress. And in this hour or so, at least until other guests arrive, we will be talking about the much talked about defections among the party rank and file to the National People's Party of President Barrow, who is currently touring the country, and the President's Meet the People's tour. We will have the GDC's perspective on this tour and the announcements and pronouncements that have been made there. First, Mr. Cham, welcome to the branch.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lamin Cham.
Right.
Very happy to be here. As you rightly mentioned, my name is Mr. Abdoulie Cham, the former Deputy Secretary General of the Gambia Democratic Congress, now the current Deputy Propaganda Secretary. I'm very happy to be here on Kerr Fatou.
Very good.
And I hope our discussion will be very fruitful and meaningful to the viewers. Thank you.
Exactly. As Propaganda Secretary or Deputy Propaganda Secretary, you must have following the propaganda, if you like, you would like to call it, by members of the National Patriotic Party of President Barrow. Apparently, this tour was meant to be Meet the People's tour, but as you know, of course, it's very much political. Everywhere he went, we had political pronouncements. And from SO, we heard that a big fish from your party, the national chairman, Demba Sabali, has declared that he has defected to the NPP. Now, I want to ask you, how much importance was he in your party, and how do you think his departure will affect your party? Isn't it really a big loss?
No, actually, I wouldn't say it's a big loss, because knowing the Gambia Democratic Congress, we have went too far before the arrival of Demba Sabali. Because I will start by clarifying that Demba Sabali, in his interview, mentioned that
he was a founder of the Gambia Democrat. He is among
yes,
the founders
he said he
of
was
the Gambia.
one, yes, and he really played a key role in the structures in the GDC.
Yes, I would start by saying definitely that that point or that allegation that he stated was actually false.
How
because
do you think it's false? He was definitely very important.
Let me just come in. I was among the founders of the Gambia Democratic Congress. I'm among the key founding members of the party. And when we started this party in 2016,
yes,
there was nothing like Demba Sabali.
I see.
Demba Sabali came to the party in 2018.
After the elections?
After the elections of the presidential and then the parliamentary elections.
So you mean he had no part in the December 2016 election when your party came third?
No part, actually.
And did
obviously,
impressively.
he did not play any role as far as the 2016 elections were concerned.
He was not practical.
He was
not actually known in politics.
Practically, theoretically, he did not play any role in that political process.
So how did he
Sabali came to the GDC few weeks before the councillorship elections.
In 2018.
And then in 2018, when we were about to go for Congress. When he came, he showed his interest towards our party leader, Honorable Kande, and the development that he is doing for the people of the country. So as a result, he lobbied to be part of the executive.
You mean he lobbied?
He lobbied. Sabali lobbied.
Can you explain how he lobbied?
No. What
was
I mean
he not
by
elected
lobbied,
at a Congress?
What I mean by he lobbied, because he was the one who was interested to be a member of the executive.
I see.
What happened was, at that time, there was no position to be given straight away. We formed an ad hoc committee. And that ad hoc committee, we call it as a research council. Then Sabali and this man, Gano, I know you know Gano, Lamin Gano,
Gano, yeah.
Gano, the former, bodyguard of President Jammeh.
Yes.
They came together, and because of we knew that they could at least play some role, we decided to form a council called the Research Council.
Okay.
Sabali was part of this team.
Yes.
But when he said that he is part of our founders,
yes,
or the founders of the party,
yeah,
that is absolutely false. With due respect to him, because sometimes when you leave a party,
yeah,
there is no need for you to form or to say certain things which are not real. No matter whatever prominence or importance you want to have,
yeah,
just say the reality.
Okay, why do you think did he decide at this point to defect to the NPP? Money, positions? What do you think? Why do you think he left your party?
Well, I cannot say for certain why, but I'm sure Sabali was given all the privileges one can expect
so he was
as a national chairman.
Okay.
He was given in the GDC. He was given his due, and definitely, his voice was heard in the GDC.
Yes.
So the reason why he left, for me, I would say is because of money.
Money.
Because of money, and he stated it, or he said it himself.
But he
when
said,
he was at SO, he said that he was given millions and also a pickup. These are the reasons why.
I did not hear him say that he was given millions.
Yeah.
What I heard him say was he had wanted to develop the country, and President Barrow was doing exactly that.
Yeah, in some of his interviews, he mentioned that.
Oh, he mentioned millions?
Yes, he was given money.
He did say.
At the same time, pick up.
He did say he had a tete-a-tete with President Barrow and was impressed with his policies. He never mentioned, I didn't hear him say he was given millions.
To say that you are impressed with his policies, that is absolutely false. Because Sabali, in many instances, said Barrow and his policies are not good. So today you cannot say he is impressed by those policies when you are the very one who said those policies are not good.
So what changed? You will wonder what has changed.
So what has changed him? One can conclude by saying Sabali was seduced as a result of money and maybe the pickup that he was given. But definitely I believe that pickup is not worth.
So he was given a pickup.
It's not worth mentioning everywhere, because it's not his property and it's not the property of Adama Barrow.
Okay.
And in the GDC government, when GDC takes over, come next election, obviously all these properties will be taken back. So let him not be proud with the pickup that he is given.
How instrumental? You began by assessing, or rather countering his claims that he was key in the restructuring of the party. You are downplaying that. How important was he in the party?
Somebody I can say he's important as every executive member of the GDC. Because GDC, all our executive members are important. There is nothing like this man is more important than the other. Okay. We are all equal when it comes to decision making. And if you are following keenly about the development of the GDC or our activities, you will realize even our party leader mentioned it in our last rally in CRR North, that most of the decisions which are taken by the executive, he is not directly involved. Okay. That tells you how the GDC is run. Now, but coming to the structures that Sabali is mentioning about, when we were forming these structures in 2016, Sabali was not a member of the party. When we concluded all the election cycle, that was in 2018, we went round to revisit our structures. And he was privileged to be part of those who were selected to be part of those, revisiting the structures. But that does not mean, he was the very one who formed the structure, because the structures were already there, even before the presidential election. And when we were forming those structures, Sabali was not part of us. So if he is to say he is the one who formed the structures of the GDC, that is obviously false.
Now, you said his reasons might have to do with wanting money, wanting privileges, especially you mentioned a pickup that's been given to him. Other people said, okay, Sabali was famously quoted as saying that he wouldn't even like one day of a UDP to live in a UDP government. He would have preferred Barrow to 5 years. Many people think maybe because of the rapprochement between GDC and the UDP, which was manifested in the Nyamina by-elections, perhaps that is why, because of his aversion or his dislike for UDP, so to speak, he has decided to abandon the party. Could that be a valid reason?
No. Actually, it's not a reason. Because Sabali himself was very proud when UDP came to support the GDC.
Oh, really?
And then he was throughout the by-election campaigning alongside with the UDP. And he never stated his unhappiness or he never stated anything like he is not satisfied with the GDC joining with the UDP in the by-elections. But what we have to say is GDC is a party of its own. UDP is a party of its own. But when the by-election came, UDP felt it's necessary to show solidarity to the GDC. Because remember, this seat, we did not lose it. What happened was, the one who occupying the seat passed away, which is natural. In that case, the UDP felt it is necessary not to put up a candidate in show of solidarity to the party, to the GDC. This is how we came to work together as far as the by-election is concerned. So it was not a pre-arrangement done between UDP and GDC.
But it has led to these speculations that the rapprochement could mean that the two can come together in an election. Many people have concluded these people are going to have an alliance. So
well, for now, we are working as a party. Okay. We are working as GDC. UDP is working as UDP. But we are all opposition parties. Okay. And everything is possible.
And your objective, of course,
our objective is to unite every Gambian. Okay. And if it is worth working with any party, we are ready to do that. But for now, we are working as a GDC party. UDP is working as UDP party.
All right. The NPP people are claiming that before 2021, they would have finished the GDC completely. They claim that all the areas you had strongholds in Nyomi, Jokadu, and some parts in CRR and URR, they are targeting them, and they claim that day by day they are getting people from your bases. And do you believe that there is a systematic policy of the NPP to get GDC people cross over? Are they succeeding in this, as many people are claiming?
No.
Given the high-profile defections?
No, they are not succeeding. you cannot call them as high-profile defectors.
But we see people at rallies saying that I was GDC expert, now I am an NPP.
You see, that is normal in politics. As politicians, we expect this coming. It's not a surprise to us. Even yesterday at our meeting in Ladrikunda, our party leader stated it clearly that an opposition party, you should expect sort kind of things happening, especially when election cycle is about to come. Okay. This is normal.
Yeah.
What is important is whether GDC is losing its support base. That is the grassroots, and that is not happening. You see, it's normal for an executive member to leave a political party, because that person is prominent because of the party. Because Demba Sabali was not known before GDC. Sekou Jawara came to the chairmanship because of who? Because of the GDC. So those prominency they have today is as a result of the party. But those who are making them prominent are militants of the party. Therefore, if you decide to leave, they will forget about you and you will be alone.
That's very, you mentioned especially about Demba Sabali, which we take it one by one. We will come to Jalaibi Jawara. Some people, supposedly from Demba Sabali's native constituency or native village, came up to the GDC to tell the GDC virtually that they disagreed with Sabali's, action. Tell us about that. Who are they?
Exactly. This is what shows you that Sabali is prominent is as a result of the GDC.
Who are they?
Those people are the people of Bondali, Fonyi Bondali, where Sabali is originally from. They came to show solidarity with our party, especially our party
And
leader.
what was their message?
And their message was very clear. Sabali came and found us in the party. If he is leaving alone. We are not moving an inch. And this message was made clear to him as well. Today, I can tell you, Mr. Cham, Sabali is already regretting the decision he took.
He's got a pickup and you said
No.
he probably will have access to millions.
You see, having a pickup and the privileges he was having in the GDC cannot be compared.
Okay.
Because Sabali was someone who was very important in the party when he was there. And he was given all the privileges. He was given all the due. So I don't see any other privilege that Sabali can have in the NPP more than the one he has with the GDC. And secondly, there are so many people in the NPP who left the GDC because of Sabali.
Oh, so really?
I can say
but
the move.
That was not known.
No, it was known.
But not the public.
Mama Njai, the current admin secretary of the NPP. When he left the party, he said it clearly, categorically clear that it's because of Sabali he left the party.
But how can
Governor Pui?
How can the two then come together?
Governor Pui.
Both are now at NPP.
Governor Pui, when he left the GDC, he made it clear that it's because of Sabali he left the party. So you can see Sabali leaving the GDC is a blessing for us because we were losing people because of him. Now, if he decides to leave on his own, definitely we are very grateful.
But because both of the people you're talking about are now saying they are NPP.
They are NPP.
NPP.
They are NPP.
Is NPP. Sabali is NPP. How can they get along now?
No, they cannot get along. I know Mamajik, he has principles. And he made it clear that it's because of Sabali he left the GDC. So you think
it's too late for him to come back now?
No, it's too late. It's too late.
Because he's now so much involved in
because what the NPP wanted.
He too has got a pickup.
What the NPP wanted. You see what tells you Sabali is not a good politician. Or he is not a politician. Because what NPP wanted is not because they are not concerned about the pickup they gave him. What they wanted is to destroy his career, his political career. And they have successfully done that. Tell me how.
To make his relevance.
To make his relevance
really
diminished. And this is what happened. Sabali currently, as I'm speaking, yesterday I spoke to somebody reliably. I was reliably informed that he is regretting the decision that he took.
You mean the influence he had in the political?
It's all gone.
In the political circles.
You see, NPP.
When he was GDC, he cannot get that now.
Mr. Cham, I can tell you, NPP, they have very bad crooks. the like of
the
like of Sidinjai and the others, Sehumbalo and the others. These people are not interested in who is coming. You know what they want? Just for you to go and say, I've defected from my party, now I'm with the NPP, period.
So they felt that...
That attraction is all what they need from you.
They enjoy.
After the attraction, you are no more considered.
They will sideline.
They will sideline you. For us, we are experienced politicians.
Yeah.
We know what was happening during APRC. They were using the same strategy. They will just call you and make you enemy with your people,
and then they
sideline you. And this is what is happening right now to Sabali.
So you are not worried about whatever...
We are not worried. My worry will be if our militants are leaving the party.
But that's what the NPP is claiming. They said, your militants, and we saw them on television saying, we are 500 so in number. Last time the one in Salem said, he claimed he has 500 people rally. So
you see,
they said it's the militants who are going.
You see, some of those people claiming that they are going with 500 people.
Yes.
You know, just to give you a fact, to show you that those who are leaving cannot shake the party. When our MP for Jokadu, Charlie Fujao, decided to defect to the NPP, during that period we were about to have the by-election for in Kerr ward. What happened? In his own village, Kerr Amadou, GDC won there massively.
But then eventually the NPP won the war anyway.
Yes, eventually.
So you
NPP won.
You want to say that?
But that goes to show you
that his
even
people
in his
did not
own
agree with him.
Even in his own village,
they didn't agree with him.
They didn't agree with him. Okay. That goes to show you.
So when you analyze the results,
when you analyze the situation, you come to realize that NPP they use money. We all know that.
Okay.
And they use authority because most of these local authorities. They are forcing people to vote for them.
They abuse their incumbency.
They abuse their incumbency.
Okay, all right.
It's like we are returning to the same old days.
The
same old tactics of Jammeh, which we fought for 22 years.
Good.
So this goes to show you that this government is not credible and is not respecting the agreements they have with the Gambians.
Good. We will come to another high-profile, supposed defection. The chairman of CRC, how do they call it, South or North? The Kuntawur Area Council. Anyway, Sekou Jawara also claimed to have defected to the NPP. But first, let's go to Almamy funding Taal, or spokesman for the United Democratic Party. Almamy, before I go to your Congress, you too suffered a defection. National chairman, your national chairman defected to the NPP. So you share the same in Alhaji Dembo by force, if I am right. Dembo.
Or is the national president?
National president. Well, it comes to the same thing. You too suffered a defection. The same high-profile defection, if you want to call it. So are you too, just like the GDC, not suffering from losing high-profile members to the NPP?
Well, Alhaji Dembo by force, as is popularly known, is a known political quantity in the Gambia. During the First Republic, he was an opposition member of Parliament from Bakau. But his time is past. I mean, the honor that the UDP gave him at the last Congress, re-electing him as national president, was just to honor his life of service to this country. He resigned from the UDP, and clearly he is one of the strongest supporters of the president and NPP. But I mean, politically, Alhaji Dembo is completely irrelevant in the Gambia.
You want to say that you already said he was very important in Bakau during the First and Second Republics.
Yeah.
But you want to now say that even in Bakau he doesn't have that much support that would threaten, or that can mean anything.
He has absolutely no support in Bakau. Absolutely none. This is not something I'm saying on TV. Just go to Bakau and find out. It's not far from here.
But we have NPP
people claiming to be NPP in Bakau, probably.
Oh, certainly. I mean, nobody is saying that people are not supporting NPP, but you premise it that high-profile defection. Yeah. I mean, these things. Let us unpack it and be very clear. Like Honorable Mama Kande said, we are getting into the political season. You will have a lot of push and pull. But even this idea that we have an incumbent and he is supposedly endowed with a lot of powers, this is a myth that Gambians know is simply not the case. Because
but the thing is, the majority of the people, we all agree, are not politically aware. The concern is, I mean, you see people who are enticed or induced by money, promises, or even government projects, being created by the party in power, and giving all kind of impression that I am the one doing this to you, and I need your vote, and people fall for those kind of things. So that's why people said, if somebody has the incumbent, has that advantage to capitalize and exploit the ignorant masses, to get his numbers. That's the concern, and that's the reality.
And there are two tasks here. One is for the journalists who are responsible for broadcasting this information. To firstly debunk it. They have a responsibility as citizens of the country to make the readers and the people listening to them or watching them on TV to know that whatever claims a political leader is making is either true or not true. We have to fact check our political class. Now, my brother from GDC has made a point here. If you have been groomed and put into national prominence by a political party, you're moving away from that political party to wherever you want to go, doesn't change anything. Because it is that party that made you who you are in the first place. So this is something that you journalists...
Even if it's supposedly the defector is taking away supporters with him, as it's been claimed.
But we wait for the evidence, because the evidence can only be known when elections are held. And you can see where your base is or where your base is not. Even these massive rallies, which I think every Gambian has now considered, even that is not evidence, it's not sufficient evidence in my view of where our support is. For me, my studies of the political scene, I know, but I'm saying, Lamin, that those crowds want to hear what you have for them. They want to understand, since the last time you had this opportunity to present a credible policy program before them, what is it going to change in their lives? Of course, they would be hearing about these pickups, about this giving of money, and all this chest pounding that is going on. Clearly, the Gambian political scene has now really changed. We have a lot of new political parties, a lot of ideas. The question is whether the people in the privacy of their voting booth would have been convinced by performance A or the lack of performance. So really, individually talking about Almamy Taal moving to so-and-so party, or Lamin Cham moving to so-and-so party because they were made prominent by their parties, really, I think is not the best use of our time now. Our time is, let us interrogate the issues that are important to Gambians. We are at the height of, or at the inflection point of a pandemic. How are we going to get vaccines now that vaccines are coming on stream? What are we going to do with our dilapidated health infrastructure? What are the things that the villages in Wurokang, in Quinala, in Jahali Pachar, what is it that we can do to make their living conditions a lot better than what it is now? Other than this big crowd and having these useless institutions maintained in our constitution What is the meaning of Meet the People store in the days and age where you can sit in your house on a telephone, talk to 1 million people? You can sit on at the State House and reach out and have a virtual town hall. You will save a lot of money. That money could be invested in improving the lives of the people you are going to burden with having to come out and clap for you. We need to renew our politics. We need to renew the terms of engagement between the citizens and the government. After all, Lamin, it is the citizens who pay these taxes for government to be possible. But we don't have a theory of government that is transforming anything in our lives. All the time we talk about what Almamy Taal has said, what Usainu Dabo has said, what GDC has said, who has gone here, who has gone there. How is that important to Gambians?
Okay, but the NPP, President Barrow, you cannot discount the fact that NPP is very much part of this tour, which is meant to actually be a state-funded tour to talk to people, the rural people, including farmers, about their plight and concerns. Is now, obviously, as it has used to happen on the Barrow and on the Jamme and Sadaw Jawara, more of a political campaign. We have seen, like I said, people supposedly crossing over and people coming with NPP banners, President Barrow claiming that I will have done this and this and this and that. Now, let me come back to you, Mr. In Kaur. They claim that, the chairman who was elected under your ticket for that area council also have defected, supposedly, to the NPP. How relevant is that? Because if he was chairman of an area council, was elected on your ticket, he certainly must have support there. Is he going with his support base? Or like you said, in the case of Sabali, he's just going just like a single person?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. As my brother rightly said, when it comes to NPP, we have all seen what is happening currently. Because this tour that the president is engaged on, it's supposed to be a tour to know the problems of the Gambians. But currently what we are saying is totally different. They are using this tour to gain support and try to show their political power, which is not important for now. Because we all know the strategy they are using. You see the crowds that you are seeing from the TV, it's not people living in those particular areas. And this nationwide tour should have been meant for the people living in a particular area to know their problems. But what is happening is they take people from all over or all the surroundings and gather them at one place to show that Barrow is popular. This strategy will not work because we already know what is going on. What we can say as far as Sheikh Jawara is concerned, he came under the GDC ticket and he won as a result of the support base GDC has in that particular area.
Yes.
So today, if he decides to defect to the NPP, it will not surprise me.
Why?
For the fact that Sheikh Jawara was not taking part in any of our party activities for quite a long time.
So you knew he was suddenly on his way to the NPP?
We knew it since July. In fact, in July, we wrote a letter to expel him from the party.
You didn't make that public?
No, we did not. Why? Because he came to apologize that from now on, he will change his political...
Oh, because at the time there was this law that, just like Sirfo Sankala, when you...
Exactly. There was this law that, when a chairman...
Before its amendment.
Is expelled, he will lose his or her position.
You didn't do it, so now he got...
No, what happened was, because when that happened, he came and apologized to our party leader in Jimara. Then Honorable Kande was in Jimara. He came with a delegation of the GDC chairman in Kuntawu and others to apologize.
Okay.
And he reaffirmed his commitment to the party.
So that
was the reason why the letter was withdrawn.
Okay.
So after that, we continue to see the same trend happening.
Now he is emboldened because the act is amended, so he has said, okay, now I can go.
Now I can go. And what happened is, Shehu Jawara is very simple to know that this man is not serious with the party. Because when he defected, what he said was GDC did not implement any project in his region or in his council rather. When the GDC have about 35 projects in Kuntawur area council alone. Boreholes, milling machines, these this part bridge and whatever.
And GDC actually are not the government.
GDC are not the government. But what he said was, in our last tour, he said this project should have been given to him directly to implement it. And the response of the party leader was, if you are giving these projects to implement it at the council level, the good name will not come to the party.
The credits will go to...
The credits will go to the council. Why not you allow the party to implement the projects, and you use that to say, my party has done this and that for
and
you.
We are not even the government.
And we are not even a government. I think this is more reasonable. And it's more resounding. But what happened was, he have been working on this for quite a long time.
So you are not surprised
and
that
we are not surprised.
So what is important here is how relevant or how big a loss, if the NPP, let's put it the way NPP want to put it, how big a loss is that?
No, it's not, although we can say it's a loss, because that was the only chairmanship we have as a party, and we would have loved to retain it till elections.
Yes.
But unfortunately, as the saying goes, now everyone is, you can say, every Gambian has turned to a beggar because of the government we are facing today. So everyone is hungry, or we can say so many politicians are hungry.
The unprincipled ones.
And the unprincipled ones are looking for positions and money and whatever. And this pickup was given to Jawara for almost two months back.
Oh, he's got a pickup.
He got
bought by the council or bought by NPP?
No, by NPP. He was given this pickup 2 months ago. And then he parked this pickup somewhere. We were aware of all these tactics that Jawara was playing. But as a party, we are not good
so
at expelling.
His timing is strategic. He waited until the local government act is amended. Now you cannot do anything about him.
And in fact,
he's
as a
gone
party,
independent.
we are not very happy to expel members.
So you're not
because
keen
that
on
is
doing
not a good sign of a democratic party. And GDC, we believe in democracy. So that is why there are so many things happening. Not that the party leadership is not aware, but we just want you to take or to live at your own consent. Because a party is something that you be there because of you believe in the principle of the party. If you decide to leave, you should also leave at your own will. So this is why we decided to withdraw the letter that was written to expel him since July. But we are aware of his movement for quite a long time. And then we wish him all the best. But as I always said, what is important is the structures and up to date. Before I came in, I was talking to the people of Kuntaur, and they assured me of their support, and they also assured me that the movement of Shehu Jawara has nothing to do with them. They are with the GDC, and nothing can remove them from the party. So this is what we want to hear. The grassroots is our priority. If we can maintain our militants, those living at the executive level is not a problem for us. Because, as you can see, when Sabali left, we replaced him with the youngest, one of our youngest.
Who is that?
Executive members.
Who is it?
That's Honorable
Omar Sise, now the national chairman.
He is the national chairman, the acting national chairman. That goes to show you that we have enough manpower to replace whosoever want to live at the executive level. But what we are calling for is, let us know that this country, the direction it is going through is not the best for the future generations coming. And it's our responsibility to make sure we change the system that is in place. So whatever you are doing, know that history will judge you one day. And this is my belief. Because money is nice, but your integrity is more important.
But President Barrow and his NPP are claiming that they are bringing development. The people they found on the ground are interested in his development agenda, and they came willingly. They wanted to work with him. They wanted to abandon your party because they no longer agreed with the principles there. It is the NPP that they agreed with, and they have found what they wanted now. They genuinely love the party and are going to vote for him.
No, it's not about principles. It's not about principles. Yeah. Because if you compare NPP and GDC, when it comes to party level, you look at the interventions that the GDC has done since 2016 to better the livelihood of Gambians, and you compare what NPP has done so far, you cannot compare it.
As a party and not as a government.
Not as a government. So obviously you cannot tell me you are leaving the GDC, which have the the interest of the people at heart, to the NPP. It's not sensible. Because looking at what GDC has done so far, and it's not a government, you cannot compare it with the NPP. Okay. So what is happening is, some of these people are after money and other things which are different from the principle of the party. Our principle is the same as in 2016. Okay. We are here to better the livelihood of Gambians and then change the political atmosphere of this country. Good. And we are working towards that.
I'm going to ask you one other aspect that made news in the last week, and because you are political parties, you will be interested in that. Let me ask Almamy first, whose leader in the UDP have come out to speak against very suggestion, and that is Ahmad Ba of NRP, who we know now is very much part of the NPP. The two are very much close. He said that some Gambians left the Gambia to go for Senegal because of pressure on land to graze or to farm. They've gone to Senegal and they should be given the vote. Ousseynou Dabo of the UDP said that is mischievous and a ploy to register non-Gambians in the name of, he said that's a non-starter, it's not true. Ahmad Ba came back firing again at one of the rallies, during this tour. He said the attempt by the opposition to de-enfranchise Senegalese is unfair because they are advocating for Gambians in the diaspora to be given the votes, because maybe they know they have more support there. They don't want Gambians in Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and etc. to be registered because they think maybe those people will not vote for them. Almamy, where do you stand on this? It's important because it's.
But I mean, Lamin, this is I mean, it's a very difficult thing to debunk nonsense. What the minister is saying is clearly mischievous, is misleading, and it is completely untrue. Completely. Any Gambian, wherever you are, whether in Senegal or in Guinea-Bissau or in Mauritania, if the diaspora has a mechanism to vote, you just need to prove that you are a Gambian living somewhere else. So this issue that people have moved to Senegal because of land pressure, this is clearly, one of the biggest nonsense anybody has ever said on a political platform. And Mr. Ba is engaged in this kind of divisive politics from day one. He is playing identity politics, and this is the wrong thing to do in the Gambia now. To talk like this is not only irresponsible, it just doesn't have any basis in fact. But for me, what I always complain about is that the journalists in this country have also a responsibility to Gambians to find out about these utterances. And for once and for all, lay it to rest. Because this having me reacting to statements by other political leaders, or other political leaders having to make statements that are not only untrue, but not helping the political discourse of this country. I think the journalists must find out, first, has this ever happened in the Gambia? This is the first time we are hearing this.
Okay. Does it make sense when he said that the opposition parties really rubbished his claims because they believe that the people, when those kind of people you said never existed, when they are given the vote, they may not vote for the opposition. So he said that's discrimination.
Yeah, that's completely rubbish. promised, as my brother said. You see, Ahmad Ba, one have to be very careful with him. Because the divisive form of politics that he is introducing. I think President Barrow should take responsibility to make sure he stop it as soon as possible. Because one of the things we fought in 2016 was this tribal issue and tribal sentiments.
Okay.
Which Ahmad Ba is reviving gradually.
Oh.
And this might lead
to
unforeseen circumstances.
He mentioned that Fullers were being targeted for harassment by immigration and etc. He was condemned. He said, no, I didn't mean to insult my opponents, but he still believed that that was the truth. Fullers have been condemned. A lot of people of high standing in the society said he shouldn't have profiled tribes in the first place. So,
exactly.
So that still remains, and many people disagreed with him. But are you saying, in more practical terms, in which ways do you think he is promoting this?
Yeah, just to mention that during the by-election in Nyamina, Ahmad Ba was saying GDC is selling we are selling our party to the UDP to in order for the Mandinkas, to empower,
to marginalize the Fullers.
Marginalize the Fullers and the Wolves. And this was something that we divided in the by-elections in Nyamina, which is a hate speech. Because in the Gambia, we want to see everybody to see yourself as a Gambian, not a Mandinka, a Fuller, or a Jola. And as long as we have government officials who should be responsible of uniting the country, coming out with this form of hate speech and tribal, division, obviously we need to be very worried.
Okay.
So what Ahmad Ba should know is these things that he is trying to, introduce are the very, issues we fought for the past 22 years.
Okay.
That is to see a level playing ground for
I
everybody.
have an experience. In 2005, when then the national, the NAD, that was a very good, effective coalition of opposition parties, lost their seats because they supposedly they belonged to another party. NAD was registered as a political party, and you couldn't belong to two political parties constitutionally. The IEC intervened and called for by-elections. He lost his seat. All the opposition maintained all the seats except his constituency, Upper Salem. And, there he claimed that people who were bona fide voters were declared as Senegalese by AFPRC and its state agents who denied his supporters from voting. Some were arrested, etc. So he was very vocal against cross-border voting or stuff like that. And now the opposition are accusing him of exactly promoting that.
Exactly.
How do you make of that?
This is what I'm telling you about the inconsistency of this government. Today they will say this, tomorrow they say a different thing, which definitely is very disappointing. As a responsible government, we expect the people manning powers to be responsible enough to try to safeguard the integrity of this country. But this is not happening. We have seen so many conflicting statements coming from the government.
All right, still with
one of these conflicting statements is exactly as you stated. Today, if Ahmad Ba is promoting cross-border, or people coming from Senegal to come and vote, obviously it doesn't make any sense. Looking at what he stated in 2005.
What about the case of still the NPP claiming to be eating up your support base and your people? What about the case of Alhaji Sow, who is the National Assembly member for Jimara, apparently who beat President Barrow and the coalition in 2016? And of course, Honorable Kande was himself member of parliament there and beaten Adam Barrow in parliamentary elections there. Now, Alhaji Sow, as we speak now, we heard that, there are rumors that he is waiting for President Barrow in Jimara to declare that he too is going to go to NPP. And we contacted him just now as this program came on air. He denied this. But he did not, he said he has not yet decided, but he did not deny categorically that he might be going to President Barrow. That would be one of the last, or two, that would be one of the last two you have as MPs. If he declares that he's gone to NPP as well, that will leave you with only one National Assembly member, Omar Sise, with the GDC, and that will really be very much celebrated in Jimara, being the native constituency of both President Barrow and your party leader, Mama Kande. Don't you think if that happens, that is really going to clear so people that President Barrow now has upper hand over GDC in Jimara? I mean, Jimaras is always embarrassed President Barrow because that was his home, and yet the opposition always beat him there. So probably with this one, he can now say, look, I have now taken over.
Taken over Jimara. Yeah. You know, what I can say as far as Honorable Alaji Sow is concerned, yesterday at our meeting in Ladekunda, he was with us, and then we sat next to each other. And then during our discussions, he made it categorically clear that he is still with the GDC, and then there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that will make him to leave the GDC.
Yes, in his recent conversation with us, he said he will have to consult his constituents, that is, the people who voted him, the electorates, before making any decision. And that's quite different from what you are saying.
And that was done. Alaji Sow consulted his people.
And they told him?
And they told him categorically that we are with the GDC, we are with Honorable Mama Kande. Come rain, come shine. So and remember, this is not the first time Honorable Kande, defeated Adama Barrow in Jimara.
Yes.
Because if you can recall, Adama once contested with Honorable Kande for the parliamentary seat. And Honorable Kande defeated him with a huge margin. So likewise, during the presidential election and also the parliamentary elections. And the parliamentary election, likewise the local government. So you see that GDC, Jimara is our place. And there is nothing that will stop us from winning in Jimara election.
That's why I said President Barrow and the NPP are very keen.
For the people of NPP, saying that Alaji Sow will declare when President Barrow is meeting him at Jimara.
Well, that's absolutely false. Speculation.
Yesterday, Siaka Jata called Alaji Sow and told him that there is an arrangement for you to meet the president in Janyambure. We are aware of all the tactics the NPP is playing as far as Alaji Sow is concerned. But I want to make this issue or this case to be laid to rest, that Alaji Sow is with us, and I'm 100% confident there is nothing absolutely that will make him to join the NPP. Because he knows what the GDC has done for him, and he is grateful for that.
What if President Barrow now said the people of Jimara, he said to the people of Baluo that they have no right to, and Kiang, that they have no right to be opposition anymore because they were in the opposition. His government is their government. I mean, that is the issue now. Almamy, I want to keep it in. President Barrow, wherever he went, he said, look, you people need not to be in opposition. All right? We were all in opposition together. I won the election as an opposition candidate. This is your government. Don't shy away from this government just because Mr. Dabo or Almamy Taal is not in my government. So you should not embrace me. Hasn't he got a point there?
Clearly, it just shows the points of his ignorance politically. Because there is a political history to all these activities. To assume that a presidential candidate that was put together by an alliance of political parties is there because of his own gravitas or his own abilities or his style of leadership.
No, I mean, you didn't understand me. He said, if the people of Badibo or everybody who was opposed to Jammeh, if they wanted a change, they found one in him.
Yeah, but
now he's saying that why are they still not embracing him even after having somebody replace Jammeh? just because Mr. Dabo is not with him, or Mr.
No, I mean,
Mr. Diba was not with him.
that argument, that's what I'm trying to debunk, Lamin. But you are not listening to me.
Okay, go ahead.
The point I'm making is that the Barrow presidency, if people continue to pretend that it is the normal way of becoming a president, you are really living in cuckoo land. Because President Barrow was the deputy treasurer of UDP. That is why he was not in prison. All the deputies of the UDP, Auntie Yamseka was the deputy leader of the UDP.
They stayed. They stayed. They did not take part in demonstrations.
They did not take part because of that was the strategy of UDP.
Wow.
The attempt of Yahya Jammeh was to destroy UDP.
Yes.
So if you cannot do that, and you know, we see your game plan, we have our own game plan. Mrs. Seka, Auntie Yamseka, gave the opportunity to the other generation of leaders to lead the party.
Absolutely.
Mr. Barrow became our flag bearer. All the things that has happened to Mr. Barrow is because he was a member of the UDP.
Yeah.
This is a very simple equation.
Yes,
So now when he goes and stand before people and talk like that, I'm amazed that you people take that and say that, oh, he has a point.
No,
what point does he have?
I'm not saying he has a point. I'm asking you, how whether you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, clearly it is an attempt to delude the people about the political history of this country.
Okay.
People died for this country to change, and people seem very happy to forget about that.
Okay, all right. That is an issue that have always happened, and I'm sure it always exercises the minds of the people. All right. If Mr. Barrow goes today, as he's doing now, and said, "I am opposition before with you. Now I am in government. This is still your government," and Almamy is trying to say that he forgot, the circumstances and the concept he came from, and so. In the eyes of the UDP and who supported him, he's nothing but a betrayer. Because, according to him, if the UDP had a strategy that all the deputy leaders should stay so that they take over from the executive members who were laying their lives and they knew they will get the bullet or prison, the others can take over, which exactly happened in the case of Adam Barrow. And the UDP felt betrayed today that somebody they have prepared to continue with the parties now left them and go to pursue his own political agenda. You were opposed to all of them together. What is your take on that?
Absolutely. What Mr. Taal said.
Is it because of the new the rapprochement between the two now? You buy his ideas now?
Yeah. No, I definitely buy his ideas. Because
you
what he
people
said,
have always been opposed to Barrow in the first place.
No, what he said. No, we have not been opposed to Barrow. We were not satisfied with the arrangements for the voting of selecting the coalition leader. I could say I was among the first GDC executive members to be privileged to attend the beginning of this coalition process, because the first meeting that was held, I represented the GDC. Later on, it was Samba Balde and Amaduka. So what happened was, we wanted a different dimension of how to select the leader for the coalition.
Yeah.
But what Mr. Taal said is quite the fact that Adama Barrow rose to prominence as a result of the UDP. No one knows Adama Barrow before 2016. In fact, Adama Barrow was not a serious politician before 2016. He was just, somebody who was an outsider. Even though he was a member of the UDP, but not well known within the UDP. So as a result of the coalition, he came to power. So today, if he is not very ungrateful enough to betray the very people who fought for him to be the president, obviously he cannot use any tactic that will work as far as the political arena is concerned.
Good.
And let me make it categorically clear. One thing politicians must stop, or the incumbency must stop using, is to use few projects that are implemented within a particular region or district, to use that and politicize it. Let's say in the case of Kerr, electricity is a necessity for every citizen. You cannot use that to threaten people to vote for you. And this is
to entice the people.
To entice the people and threaten them that because of I have given you electricity, definitely you have to.
I now deserve your vote.
I now deserve your vote, and this is what Barrow is doing. So the people of Kiang.
But every government, even
the people of Kiang.
You know, Lamin is a Kiang.
No, every government. Every government. I know I had voices in Kiang who did not agree with it. In fact, most part of Kiang doesn't have electricity.
Yeah.
And the and the sources of the funding, I mean, came as a grant. But every government in power would use these grants and loans.
I mean, that is the old politics.
Listen. It is left for the. That's why I said people are concerned about NPP's activities because they believe they are capitalizing on the ignorance of the people to score political capital, which the people preached against and voted against, by getting Jammeh out. And it's coming back. That's why the concern is now.
Yeah, that is why what Mr. Taal said, I totally agree with him. It's the responsibility of the journalist
and the politician
to clarify some of this, false information that the government is using or the false strategies that the government is using to entice votes.
You see,
but what is happening is very disheartening. We are still with the old style of politics. Most of the medias are always trying to propagate some of the things the government is doing instead of sensitizing people about the realities of what is happening. This is our biggest problem.
Which of course journalists are doing. The issue about it is this country is so politicized that even today, and like I told you, if somebody is in the opposition and the journalists are putting the government of the day to account, the opposition politicians feel that the journalists are doing work for them. You know what I mean? Now, we all have our rules. We all have our rules. Today, if I write an opinion piece and said, which I did so many times, that this campaign, this tour is all about campaigns. It has little to do with addressing the farmers. I am, in the eyes of the NPP, I am UPP, I'm UDP or GDC.
Yeah.
If I stick and said, look, Kiang, in my own opinion, as a journalist, my opinion piece, if I said, Kiang, look, this electrification is a grant. The OIC roads that are going to be built, listen, I can say it, it's been said, people are doing it, we're commenting on it.
Yeah.
All right. The OIC projects that are coming are not Barrow projects. They are funded by OIC, so therefore they cannot be credited to Barrow as his achievements. The next thing I hear in my opinion piece all over online is
that is not an opinion piece. That is not an opinion piece. It's a fact.
I'm saying
we have to separate opinion from facts.
I know what you are saying. I'm trying to tell you the difficulties journalists do have. Every corner you step in to clarify or to straighten out the facts, you are interpreted as belonging to party A. We don't care about that though. We stick on. But I think it is also the duty of the politicians, such as you and Almamy are doing, to indicate, twist by twist, branch by branch, to be available at every given time, either it's press release or press conference or interviews, to debunk and clarify whatever comments are made by your counterparts on the other divide of the politics.
Then you will have no time to do any serious work. But you are the conduit.
If you look at editorials, commentaries, and opinions, and other things, they highlight these facts.
Yeah. Now, facts are necessary for everybody to accept. Opinions, it can vary. It can be different between me and GDC as to how to best address the national healthcare crisis. But the facts are there and clear for everybody to see. That people pay taxes. That these are grants that are coming from either OIC or from our international development partners. These facts, I mean, there was rice coming from Japan, and we used to call it the Jammeh rice.
Jawara's rice. Jawara mano.
Yes, all of these are things that now we are hoping that with all these platforms, on all these channels. How many serious, interesting programs do you see on GRTS? GRTS is like a propaganda
yes,
piece.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
yes.
But these are all maintained and sustained in the name of the state, in the name of the people.
Yeah,
These are the things that the GPU, the individual journalists, everybody is now, enamored with your brother Mustafa. Because of the kind of journalism he is practicing. Yeah. He brings the facts and tell you, this is what I have. This is the audio I have.
Yeah.
So how can you disagree with that? That is not an opinion. It's not his opinion.
That's true. But you can see how people of different opinions, different political thoughts, because it's all political, are flanking him. Every day and night. And you are working for the UDP. You are working, and even everybody knows that. No, listen. When everybody knows that, he is doing the job as it should be done.
Yeah. He even get awards for it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
even today, if you have to go to online, you will see people who doesn't agree, perhaps with the government, who are NPP sympathizers. Or government sympathizers, still flagging him. You are a UDP journalist. So I'm telling you. That journalists naturally would resist to be dragged, into the quarrels or the differences of the politicians.
But
what we have, and what we needed to do is always not to be carried away by the propaganda of one side against the other, and this has proven to be very, very difficult because of the polarization and the politicization of even what we are doing here. The very fact that you two are here, and I am putting concerns of the NPP to you, someone has asked, why is he bringing all the opposition parties? Supporters? And I have put to you the thinkings of the NPP. But let's move forward. We can talk about this all the time. Almamy, let's move on to the GDC Congress. Rather, the UDP Congress coming on the 18th. And I know it's a constitutional, or rather, it's a constitutional.
It's a statutory requirement.
Statutory requirement by the IEC and for all political parties to meet. Tell us, is there anything going to be different this time around?
We believe that congresses of political parties are exercises in internal democracy. And internal democracy is necessary to renew mandates, is necessary to reorient the party's policies and thinkings. Because if you don't learn every day, you probably are dying. So, I mean, beyond the statutory requirement, really, we think that it's a very healthy thing for an organization, a political organization, to renew mandates and to revitalize their vision because of the learnings within that, between two congresses. So it is a very important exercise for the health of the democracy, because it's possible that the three of us could be in one party, but we have different visions for the party. And we must find common ground to take to the electorate, and if the electorate shares that vision, we would be fortunate to form a government. So everything is going to be renewed, everything is going to be re-energized, and we are going to ready ourselves for the upcoming headwinds of 2021. We've just discussed in detail how systematically the new government, the new leaders, using the playbook of Yahya Jammeh, of a politics of identities and divisions. I mean, the other day I read in one of your colleague papers that the Balantas in Combo have formed an association, and they were
supporting NPP.
Supporting NPP.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yes, and ministers and some high profile welcoming them. That kind of thinking, you would have thought that it has been left behind with the voodoo politics of Yahya Jammeh. I mean, you hear what is being said at the TRRC. I mean, it's so shocking that up to now, some people are obsessed about this identity politics. Identity politics is wrong, period. If you use it to oppress the minority, it is wrong. If you use it to delegitimize the majority, it is wrong. We have to create a new kind of politics, and hopefully at our Congress, this is the message universally of all our leaders, that the Gambia needs people who are ready to work for it, people who are going to put a vision that is transformational, a vision that is based on our values, because we are pretending to each other that we can live beyond our means and keep borrowing and going into debt. What is the point of having a constitution that is thoroughly discredited and every part of it you say you want to honor it? For example, this tour of Meet the People tour, Meet the Farmers tour. This is serving no useful purpose in the 21st century.
Absolutely.
You can know the problems of all the farmers of the Gambia just by listening to Kerr Fatou or listening to, what is it called? BBC, or listening to Sen FM. Because people call in and say that these are our concerns. Even in Russia, President Putin every year or around this time, he sits in a big conference. You have thousands of journalists, people calling from all parts of Russia, a huge country, putting their points there. Why can't we do that? But, engage in wasteful politics, this politics of Mumbai and this dogo culture. You hear people say all kinds of nonsense. You just, every day, on a daily basis, everywhere they go, they keep talking about this. Thank God for UDP and our Congress coming. You will not hear high-profile defections. You will not hear that, because we have exercised the cancer that was in the party. There were some small elements. We kicked them out of our party. It's as simple as that.
All right. Now,
until 2021, you will not hear one person of consequence in UDP defecting or going anywhere. Because we know what this country needs, and it is to work and transform the lives of people.
What about, you talk about internal democracy, and you said the Congress is about renewing the mandates of the party members from the electorate, by the electors now. Do we expect any changes in your executive? Like, would you expect people now challenging holders of, for example, your position, the spokesperson? You have somebody who wants to be spokesperson, or Usain Dabo's secretary generalship, somebody wanted
to. I'll clarify.
We expect that.
The position of the spokesperson is appointed.
That's not elected.
It's not
Right,
elected.
okay. I'm talking
but also,
about,
I'm a member of the executive as the head of the legal and human rights unit of the...
That's elective?
That's elective.
Or do you have somebody who stand against you? You will welcome that.
I will welcome it. We will welcome any person in the party.
People have been accusing parties for poor internal politics. Like, if this is just going to be a cosmetic show, it's not the same people who will come and parade before the people. There will be no genuine opposition or cajoling, for this thing. Anybody who tries to, for example, challenge Usain Dabo's position will be doomed. Because it's untouchable.
Well, I think that's just idle talk. And I'm not going to dignify it with a response. What I want to say is that we have to respect organizations. I have great respect for the GDC and the kind of modern democratic politics they have been doing. They were not part of Coalition 2021. And since then, I think their leader has shown Gambians the kind of leadership that a leader can provide, even without the resources that every Gambian has contributed to. He has been in projects and he's been doing things. You can say the same thing for the PDOIS. For the last 34, 35 years, they have been engaged earnestly in educating Gambians. So this is the kind of politics that we want to have in the Gambia, a politics of purpose, a politics of integrity, a politics of ability. We need a capable state that can really take care of the vast majority of Gambians who are desperately poor. Because this is the kind of thing that I think we have not been brave enough to engage in, to talk to each other as brothers and sisters, that what Cham is doing, he has been doing this for more than 20 years. Some of us are witnesses to it. We have had your trials, we have heard of your tribulations, what you have done because of your profession, and what you have gone through. How many of us have been called to the TRRC? And it's not nice or fair to expect that the past doesn't have any relationship to the present. Some people are so shameless, you cannot believe it. Absolutely. We have seen them parading around inventing nonsense, trying to fight for, a discredited and disgraced dictator, and now they are the ones who are running around talking, as if, they have something to tell anybody. This is what this is what we don't want to have.
That's one aspect of, that's very serious questions President Barrow and his, has to answer, and his NPP. That is, you have people who you yourself have regarded as people who have nothing to offer, discredited, yet you find them placed in the high table in your party. Yeah. Question for President Barrow and his people, because people are concerned that people who should normally have no relevance are all being recycled in the NPP. But now, Mr. Taal, I mean, your critics, or perhaps some observers have said, people who may not know perhaps, that your party's lined up highly educated, quality personalities, each of which can become quality leaders tomorrow. But placing them or keeping their egos, from, rising against one another may really result in some undoing for your party, like may encourage division. How cohesive and united do you think the UDP cadres, I mean, I must say you have an impressive lineup of, intellectuals, but how cohesive and how united do you think you will remain? There are dangers that the egos among yourself might bring in disintegration, which your opponents can capitalize on. So you're going for Congress. Are we going to see a united UDP, or we are going to see voices that are going to be heard, might be voices of dissent or kind of thing?
Well, I'm happy you asked this question, because sometimes I like to give this short history lesson. Why are we called the United Democratic Party? It's because PPP, NCP, GPP came together and wanted to present a united front for the restoration of democracy in the Gambia. You will remember this, you are old enough like me, that the coup d'etat, when it happened, Jammeh knew day one that if Sadauda's party is allowed to contest elections, I will not win an election in the Gambia.
He knew that. Yeah.
If Sirif Diba is allowed to contest elections, I will not win elections in the Gambia. If Hassan Musa Kamara is allowed to contest an election, I will not, because the Gambian people know these people.
Oh, yes.
They know what they represent. So they were all proscribed. OJ was proscribed.
Yeah.
So was Bakari Dabo. Everybody was proscribed. So these people are not children. And they came together and formed this united front, and they sought leadership from somebody who is not proscribed, who has not been banned from participating in political affairs. And that person happens to be the lawyer Ousseynou Dabo, who had proven himself in 40 years or so at the bar to be standing for justice, for truth, for pacific resolution of difficulties. He was one of the most outstanding lawyers in the aftermath of the 1981 coup. I'm saying this because you are familiar with this. This is your bread and butter. So now you have a united Democratic Party. I have said it many times. In fact, I think my first interview with the Standard, I understand, got me into a lot of hot waters.
Yes.
Because I said that is the party of professionals.
Yeah.
I talked about Alhaji Amadou Sane, I talked about Ousseynou Dabo, I talked about the Deputy Speaker, Antiyam, that all of them are professionals, and some of them are retired professionals. And the question was, but President Barrow just have high school education. I said, well, this is what the Constitution said. You can, if you have high school education, you can be president.
Yeah.
So coming back to the UDP, I think some of us are at a certain age where we know better not to fan our own vanity. This ego, if you don't let it down, it gets you into some very vain projects. I mean, the majority of Gambians have supported and have been supporting the UDP. If you are serious about helping those people, because for me, leadership is always about service to the people. It's not for my ego, it's not for my vanity. And if you know that you want to really help in transforming the processes of this country, you must be strategic in aligning with where the people are. Don't have any illusions that this talk about intellectuals or you are an intellectual. This is not what the people are looking for. The people are looking for a representative who is like them, who thinks like them. It's not this high-flying, credentials. So the ego is very important to all of us. But we must have the humility that has been taught in remarkable style by our party leader. Alhaji Ousainou Darboe is the most humble human being I have ever seen. He doesn't even raise his voice like some of us do.
The NPP people claim Barrow's rather his humility and humbleness is attracting people to him. That's what Demba Sabali says, isn't it? So maybe Barrow is even more humble.
I am speaking, and I hope Lamin Cham. This is what youngers do. When you are making a point, they want to take it from you.
No. I'm saying people are saying that because Barrow is more humble, they are attracted to him.
Well, I am speaking. I'm speaking for UDP.
Okay.
You ask the question, Lamin.
Yes.
Give me a chance now. Give me a chance. So I'm saying that we need in this country people who are humble, who are not in love with money or titles or just carrying on as if there is no tomorrow. This is a very, very poor country. The last thing we should be doing is wasting our collective resources. We need seriousness to come to the politics of this country. We need for people, especially the journalists, because they are like arbiters. They are able to tell the difference. But if anybody is motivated by your vanity or your ego, please, I'm telling you, the front line of UDP is united behind a leader who has taught them how to lead with humility. And it's the only way. You have to lead with integrity. Everyone knows Lawyer Darboe's house on Pipeline and Kotu.
Yeah.
He has only had those houses all his life. He was vice president, for heaven's sake. We have seen other ministers, what they have been able to accumulate within 3-4 years of their being ministers. This is there. It's not like it's my opinion or I'm speculating about it. It is a fact. Okay. So for us as a United Democratic Party, we have a very, very, very glorious history.
The Congress is when?
The Congresses are actually going nationwide.
Oh.
I even left a Congress to come here.
Yeah, I saw you live on one forum. I said, I wonder whether this man will come because...
No, it is because we are doing things the right way. As we speak, Basse is having their Congress as a region. West Coast is tomorrow.
Okay.
KMC is having it. Banjul is having theirs tomorrow. LRR is having it today. And like that. So, we have too many tracks moving, but all of it is inspired by the need to have democratic, credible leaders. The National Congress itself is going to be held in KMC. KMC is the host, and I'm sure you have seen the billboards around. It's the 18th and 19th. What happens at Congress really is a kind of a report and review of performance of the leaders. Okay. Thereafter, the mandate is renewed or withheld. So on the 20th, that is on Sunday, there is going to be a massive national rally, also in buffer zone, to herald the new leadership, to introduce them to the nation, and some of the key policy issues, recommendations, and resolutions that Congress 2020 is going to make.
Good. One of the things that amazes me is that whatever party calls a Congress, you look at the crowd, you cannot know which one is bigger than the other. Now you mentioned there are certainly not going to be high-profile defections in your party. Nobody will hear that. But is President Barrow also not taking your grassroots supports? in the regions. Everywhere they went, they said UDP is finished here, GDC is finished here, finished here. You claiming that you have congresses all at grassroots level in all these places. The people who are shouting, after President Barrow rally after rally, there was no NPP. They could either have come from DOI, from GDC, or from UDP. We know they said they're taking GDC work. Would you admit that they've also taken some of your supporters?
Oh, there is no doubt. Anybody who wants political significance in this country, you have to go to the UDP, because we have it.
Hamad Ba of NRP and NPP, stroke NPP, said at one rally that, look, you people must not be shy or afraid. You must attack UDP bases and get them.
Is that just try? I mean, you don't go to a lion's pride. You have 12 lions standing, and you want to hunt there. You are committing suicide. You will be consumed.
He said you should know. You should.
No, I mean,
you should go and attack UDP.
No, if you have a herd of goats, yes, maybe 1 or 2 lions can go and have a feast. Okay. But you cannot go to Lion Kunda and you expect to survive.
Easy.
Let him try. Why isn't he coming?
Well, he said they shouldn't be shy or afraid. They should go and attack you.
Let them try.
Okay, Almamy funding. Taal, we wish you and your party successful Congress. And,
thank you very much, Lamin. Thank you.
Abdoulie Cham of the GDC, we hope that you like you said, Mr. Barrow's NPP, as you claim, are only taking individuals by their name, and they have nothing to do with your party's support base. Finally, I give you the last say. NPP said there will be no GDC by 2021. In 2 words, do you agree?
No, I disagree completely. First of all, I would want to seize this opportunity to wish UDP a successful Congress. Because, as I always said, we are together.
Is that because
the oppositions?
As has been said that you are one and the same now?
No, we are not one and the same, but we all have common goal.
Okay.
That is to bring or to effect a change come 2021. Likewise with the APRC, because we are the main opposition political parties in the country.
Okay.
So obviously our goal should be all the same. That is to see that President Barrow and the NPP is wiped out come 2021. What I can say as far as the GDC is concerned, we are stronger than before. And from now on, our compromising will also be reduced. Because what is happening is very disappointing. People from nowhere who are not known at any level of this country, who have not rose to any political prominence, they will come to the GDC, we groom them, we make them good people, and then at the end of the day, what happened? They disappoint us.
Such as the Mambagic,
such as the Mambagic, because if you talk about Mambagic, he was almost dead as far as politics is concerned.
It's the GDC who revived him.
It's the GDC who revived him, and finally he left us and go to NPP. So these are some of the things that we are no more going to tolerate as far as our party is concerned.
Fantastic.
Because GDC, we believe in democracy. We believe that everybody should be given his due to decide what is good for him or her. But in as much as we compromise as far as democracy is concerned, we are not going to tolerate people coming to rose to prominence at one time, they just leave us and go and join.
Are you going to now?
So from now on,
like the UDP did, when they suspect you really are not committed, they send you an expulsion later.
This is what we have already started, and we have done one at in one of our desk officers in Sierra South. Just 2 days ago.
You expelled him?
No, we did not expel him, but we relieved him from his position as desk officer. So now, from now on, we are going to be very effective as far as that particular area is concerned. That is, if you are not committed to the GDC, please leave us. If you cannot leave, we will take our stance and relieve you from your position.
Good.
What I can say is, GDC is a very strong party. And our strongness and our support base is still intact. Those who are leaving, those few individuals leaving, cannot threaten the base of the party. And we have also talked to our militants on a very serious note that those who are leaving, they have all right to leave. And we are heading to political cycle. These kind of defections are expected. But what is important is those who are on the ground, the grassroots, we are maintaining them. We are in constant communication with them. And the love they have for the GDC since 2016 is growing day by day. And this is a fact, and it can be manifested by the current, the recently concluded rallies that we held in Sierra North and also in Ladekunda. Today, in fact, our party leader, as we speak, he is currently on his way to Farafenye. We are also having
to undo whatever the NPP has done there.
We are also having a rally organized by our councillor in Farafenye, that is Papa Tunkara. So we are not bothered by those who are leaving. So what we want to say is GDC is committed to the welfare of Gambians. What we started in 2016, we are not going to stop it. After the elections, we could have said, let's wait for another election cycle. And then we come and bring out empty promises. But we did not do that. What we did was we lobbied, funds, and these funds were utilized necessarily. We gave them to Gambians, and definitely today a lot of people in various communities are benefiting from the developments of the Gambia Democratic Congress. And we are hopeful and we are sure when Gambians give us this government, come 2021, we will continue to build on the projects that we have already started.
That if governments elect the GDC government,
if we are elected as government,
then Almamy will definitely not wish will not wish you. Well, there's one thing you will not agree with.
As I said, we all have common goal.
Okay, and you don't care whether it's a GDC government.
No, this is for the Gambian people. I am humble enough to accept that. It's for the Gambian people who decide who becomes.
All right. Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdoulie Cham, Deputy Propaganda Secretary of the GDC, and Almamy Funding, Taal, spokesperson for the United Democratic Party, who are heading for Congress on the 18th, 19th, 20th December. Thank you very much.
Mr. Cham, we are also planning to hold our National Congress.
But that's not yet now, isn't
on the 27th February.
Oh.
27th February.
Maybe you need to come back here and talk about it.
Yes, and then I'm sure as time comes, we will give more information, sensitization about the Congress. But currently, we are also planning to have our sub-Congress within the regions come January. And then finally, in February, we have our National Congress.
Okay. And the NPP are also working on having the launching of the party, the big carnival. They said they will fill the stadium. That will be the biggest day, according to President Barrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wish them good luck.
You wish them good luck?
Yes.
No. I didn't expect you to wish them luck.
No, it's
politically.
It's normal.
No, you can't wish your politically.
No.
If God answer your prayers, you will be remain in the position.
No. For us as GDC, we believe in democracy.
Okay.
So wishing them good luck doesn't mean we want them to be successful.
If they get lucky in the elections, you will not be successful.
No, that's not a problem.
Okay, Almamy.
We are not enemies. We are opponents, political opponents, but we are not enemies.
Good, Abdoulie. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Until we come back next week.
Okay.
Cham here. Wishing you a great weekend.
yara ñilla domoro ka diata
boy janno sikes restaurant
e sa nakko be ni na dimbal nimba domoro kala janno
domoro seneyata adiyata topotoro fanan kende ma bije luntan during tamala abeka domoro ki janni adi manda wala de te ka we bijele anim fanan ka fadi jang ikono e fa e ka fa minne ko pastry anim bakery iko fanan be kalele badde lomba conference lomba workshop lomba ye fo pendin lo dunia kono domoro betama ñillom international o tewoda number 1
amanke ba domola jandam
e sa domo jang is atariya
wo mu kubandi
sa nakko sa futandin
e oto sa nakko be mu CKS restaurant
dafa nan janna mu yat ni manje dorom bijam
aban
CK's Restaurant, known for best quality food and customer satisfaction.
Myspay Designer Outlet is the #1 quality and affordable stop shop for all your needs. Get your evening dresses, suit and ties, office wears for both ladies and gentlemen, beach wears, sport wears, pure leather shoes for men, quality belts, bags, heels for all beautiful ladies, original perfumes, accessories, and a lot more. Find us at Kololini Road opposite Gaddafi Mosque at the Aqua Bridge Station, or call us on 295-3411 or 764-2486. Myspay Designer Outlet. Shop right, look good.
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la
skincare la 2020 lañ wax de waaw fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache perfect skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek loo lañ soxlaati rek maanaam bu dee am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal bel laka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skincare products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàlla waaye man nag skincare mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold Tomatine I mean the list can just go on and on and on and on lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses we do shoes name it we do them Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi taas kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème picture boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii